I'm eating at all 100 restaurants on the New York Times Top 100 list, and today we're going to a spot that has 3 food items on the menu, and sometimes only 2. Okdongsik is 40th on the list and new this year, and they specialize in one Korean soup. Here's the menu with prices. They do have a few drink offerings, so I got the tangerine aid, and it was delish. The kimchi mandu is always on the menu, and it was so good. Since there's not much food on this menu, we got everything. So this is the kimchi maribop, and it's a cold soup. The broth is made of anchovies and kimchi, and there's tofu. I loved the flavor of it, but I wasn't obsessed with the cold broth. Andrew actually prefers cold. I just like hot better. All right, and then for the main event, it's a pork gomtang. Very clean, clear pork broth is ladled over white rice, and then it's topped with pork. There's a pepper paste on the side to add to the meat only. Everything's really high quality, don't get me wrong, but I love a rich, thick, fatty soup, and this was just not it, and that's okay. Clearly people love it. They have a sold out sign. This is not to discourage you from going. I just have other preferences, and that's okay too. And today we're going to a spot I really didn't want to go to because I did not like my first experience there. But fair is fair, and I needed to give them another shot for the series, so let's go back to Rezdôra. They start you with these little tartlets, which are great. I love a freebie app. The actual bread is not free. So this time around, I skipped the bread, and I got the cacio e pepe salad, which I really liked. And then the gnocco frito, which has 3 different meats on it. It was light. It was airy. I loved it. The pastas are their main event. The first time I went here, the pasta was literally not cooked. You could see me struggling to cut it. The flavors were off. Everything was a little off. So I was actually floored when the braised white sausage ragu was one of the best pasta dishes I've ever had in New York City. My only complaint was that I didn't have more. The tagliatelle with the creamy mushroom sauce was also amazing, and so was the duck ragu. It was like a completely different restaurant. I went from having some of the worst pastas I've ever had to some of the best. These were the balsamic onions from the first time. They were inedible, and then the second time they were so delicious. I'm telling you, it was like eating vinegar soup to eating a really nice, delightful vegetable. The gelato was fine the first time. It's a little icy. So the second time we got the olive oil cake, and I really liked it. They're 39th on the list, and I know other people have had similar experiences to my first time, so I'm not sure what the change was. I do think consistency is important, but my second meal here was amazing. And today we're going to spot 38 in East Village Basement, aka Claud. Last year they were 25th on the list, so they dropped down a little bit. The menu isn't huge and it does change. I feel like you have to get wine when you go to Claud, so I got a white. Started with the scallops, which were served in a broth with turnips. I love raw scallops. It was light, it was refreshing. The cucumbers with spring onion and Calabrian chili was good. $18 for this dish though was crazy. They're known for their chicken liver agnolotti, and it is so good. It's very rich though. Definitely share this with someone. The red shrimp comes piping hot in a cast iron skillet, which you eat with a nice hearty slice of sourdough that sops up all of the garlicky oil. I feel like everything at Claud is very hearty and dense, like this pork chop and this roast chicken. Not to say that's a bad thing, it's just typically when you think of a wine bar, I think of light, small plates. But with Claud, for some reason, I think I'm in like a woodsy cabin. Okay, I hate carrots. Mainly raw, I tolerate cooked. Andrew ordered them. I will say, they weren't bad. For dessert, the pistachio bundt cake slice is good, but the devil's food cake is massive and the star of the show. I like Claud. It's not a go-to for me. I don't know if Claud would make my top 100, but their new restaurant, Penny, would. And today we're going for some French Viennese food. This is spot 37, Koloman. I was actually so excited for this restaurant because Vienna is one of my favorite places in the entire world. And I don't know many restaurants cooking up Austrian cuisine. Started with gougere, which is a French cheese bread. I would normally gawk at $15 bread on the menu. Truly one of the best breads I've ever had at a restaurant, and that horseradish cream that came with it, I want to bottle it up and take it home. Who would I be if I didn't order the crudo? Solid crudo, also came with horseradish. Didn't like rock my world. The pasta dish with confit rabbit is good, but again, not changing my life. For mains though is where we amp it up a bit. Here we have the beef paprikash, tenderloin and short rib. It was so tender, fall apart. The sauce it was in was hearty and delicious, and it came with a side of spatzel, and I loved the spatzel. I was most excited about the schnitzel. It came with cucumber salad, potato salad, and 2 sauces. So although it is $48 for the entree, it does come with a lot of food. But it was all delish. I like the schnitzel more than the beef. Andrew liked the beef more. And they gave us these fun little cookies at the end. Overall, Koloman is a solid spot. Would I put it 37th on my list? No. But a fairly easy reservation if you are intrigued. Today we're going to Szechuan Mountain House. This spot jumped up 54 spots from last year, landing them in 36th place. You start with some hot tea. It's delicious. The pork belly swing looks cool. It doesn't taste that great. The portions here are actually absurd. So definitely come hungry. I liked the mapo tofu, and I also liked the dumplings in chili oil. Probably one of my favorite things to order at a Szechuan restaurant. Okay, so the house-steamed crab with sticky rice sounded great. And the crab was great. However, it was coated in bonito flakes, and I don't really love that. So I do wish it said that on the menu. But I was obsessed with this black fish boiled fish stew. I could have eaten that whole bowl with white rice myself. And the absolute sleeper were these stir-fried noodles. Probably the best fried noodles I've ever had. I think there's a lot of great Szechuan restaurants in New York City, and this is one of them. I don't think it's my favorite one, though. But they're probably the only one with the koi ponds. And today we're going to a fancy 1-star tasting menu. This is spot 35, Danielle. Of course, you start with a warm tallette. This restaurant is so beautiful. It's also huge. There's a couple dining options available. There's a 3-course, 5-course, and a tasting menu. We did the 5-course because we wanted to try 10 things, and that was $234 a person. It started us with some snackies. The frog leg soup was so good. Honestly, all of the amuse-bouche was delicious. The cheese bread that they brought over was the best thing ever. I've also never had better butter in my life. All right, for course 1, we got the foie gras tureen and the bay scallops. We were big fans of both. And for course 2, we got the main Korean lobster, and the soup, which kind of tasted like a bisque. Came with soka on the side. Again, both dishes delicious. All right, already on to the third course. This is the Dover sole. It was light, it was flaky, it was tasty. This is the yellowfin tuna. I like the Dover sole a little more, but the tuna was still good. And then for entrees, we got the lamb chop and the duck. Low-key, I was not a fan of these meat dishes. Andrew liked it, so maybe it was just me. They both kind of tasted a little dried out, which is not my favorite. But the desserts, though, this chocolate mound of spikes was crazy. But I was fully obsessed with the pineapple dessert, and that's coming from a girl who prefers chocolate over fruit. And then they bring you out another round of dessert, which is all great. For the most part, I had a really lovely meal here. Our waiter was excellent. The vibes felt very similar to Le Bernardin. And I will say Andrew and I are divided on which one we prefer. Today we're going to a spot with a famous lasagna. Sodi is 34th on the list, jumping up 30 spots from last year. When you sit down, they say, do you want any bread? Obviously I want bread, but it's not free and it's not even on the menu. It's bad enough to charge for bread, but then to not even tell you? Okay, deep breath, onto the apps. Overall, the tomato salad was good, but some of the tomatoes were lacking a bit. I've had now the artichoke salad and the fried artichokes, and both are a little underwhelming. Some bites of the fried artichoke are good, and others just taste like crunchy leaves. Their meat sauce is excellent, and this dish was great. The pasta is served al dente, but not too al dente to the point where it's not cooked. I thoroughly enjoyed this pasta. They had a special, which was house-made whole wheat pasta with lamb ragu on top. Rarely do I get a special, but this one was so good. The meat was perfect. I loved the whole wheat pasta, honestly. I wouldn't order the short rib and polenta again. It was just lacking flavor, to be honest. Okay, the very hyped lasagna. I think it's good. Andrew thinks it's overcooked sometimes. Is it the best thing on the menu? No, this is. The pappardelle and the lemon cream sauce is the best pasta Sodi makes. Flourless chocolate cake is my favorite dessert, but this one was too rich for me, which is crazy. But get the hazelnut gelato instead because it's actually some of the best gelato I've ever had. Is it my favorite restaurant? No. Do I kind of love it? Yes. They do pasta very well. Today we're going to spot 33 Gramercy Tavern. You have two options when dining here, either in the tavern or the dining room with a fixed menu. I did the dining room before, but tonight we're doing the tavern, so let's get into it. They do seasons so well here. The squash soup is actually to die for, and this is a half portion. They split it for us. The broccolini salad was a little boring, I'll be honest. That's okay, because you're gonna order the dip. The flavors change with the seasons. Like I said, they perfected the seasonal menu. The white bean chorizo was definitely my favorite, but they were all delish. On to the burger, which I think is a decently well-known burger in the New York City food scene. I had it last year. It was overcooked. This time, it was perfect. Definitely not my top burger, but it's solid. It's good. I like it. The duck meatloaf is great. I love a meatloaf. Is that weird? The fish was light and delicate, and all of the ingredients were super fresh. Everything's really solid here, including the desserts. I'd say get the chocolate chip cookie, but the brownie with peanut butter ice cream is better. Once again, in the fall spirit, the apple cider donuts with creme fraiche is to die for. I truly think Gramercy Tavern is the perfect spot to have a nice dinner with friends, a date, family. Cozy, great staff, great food. I'm already looking forward to going back at Christmas time for their winter menu. And today we're going to the second most expensive spot on the list, clocking in at $480 a person. Shion 69 is one of the two omakases featured, and it's 32nd on the list. So jumping right in, it's very intimate, very quiet. It's you, a few other guests, and Chef Shion. He starts out by grating the wasabi root, and then you get your first appetizer, 2 cuts of sashimi, then a cooked piece of fish in a warm broth, which was delish. A good food reviewer would have written down what the fish was called, but I was just basking in the flavor. And then we had some monkfish liver. After that, he brought out some shells and filled them with a heap of crab. Quick intermission of the crab for a scallop roll. And back to the crab, which was lightly dressed in vinegar. After that was a crispy white fish with radish. That was the apps. Now for the main event of the sushi. Everything was simply dressed and so fresh. He told us the shrimp was never even frozen. It was caught, flown in, and on the plate the same day. Hell, I thought everything had to be frozen, but I know nothing, so. And it was the best bite of raw shrimp I've ever had. Behind the shrimp, the second best bite of the night was the otoro. I mean, come on. Then he whips out the uni, and he is very generous with his portions. There was some rice at the bottom of this. He told us to mix it all together. It was unreal. Speechless. Back for more sushi, including some eel, and then some miso soup was passed. That's not it, because then a tuna hand roll came around. Before finishing with the silkiest tamago I've ever seen in my entire life. Overall, it was an incredible meal, an amazing place for a celebration, or if you're just looking to ball out. But I do still need to try Yoshino. Today we're eating at a restaurant that jumped up 45 spots from last year. Houseman is 31st on the list, and definitely a place I would interpret as a local neighborhood spot. I loved this rhubarb spritz. Tastes like an Aperol spritz, but more sour. They print the menus daily, which seems to change often. This is the smoked bluefish dip, which I was obsessed with. I love a smoked fish dip. The flute crudo looks amazing. I don't know, the fish didn't taste like as fresh as it should have. I hate paying extra for bread and butter, but this was the fluffiest butter I've ever consumed. I guess it was worth the $9. I didn't expect the cauliflower to come cold when I ordered it. It was fine. Besides the fish dip, my other favorite menu item that I had was the burger. I feel like sometimes burgers can be really hit or miss. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. This isn't the best burger I've ever had, but this was an above average burger. And it's always nice when it comes with fries because some places make you pay extra for fries. The braised rabbit was fine. I loved the sauce it came in, but it was kind of forgettable. Houseman was fine. It's the place you take your parents, but I'm not sure it stood out enough to me to make my top 100. Today we're going to Atoboy. It's from the same team behind Atomix. They're new to the list this year and they're ranked 30th. Their menu is a $75 per person prefix. Everyone starts out with the same first course, which is sea urchin. I thought this was decent. For the second course, you have a choice between beef tartare, Korean pear, and yellowtail. Beef tartare was insane. Some of the best I've ever had. The yellowtail was also amazing. Very fresh, very light. I actually couldn't pick which one I liked better. The third course was squash, sweet shrimp, or octopus for an extra 10. I low-key hate when you have to pay more during a prefix. So thank God the squash was incredible, and the sweet shrimp was also fire. The sauce low-key tasted like chicken pot pie, but I was not mad at it. Speaking of add-ons, their fried chicken is an extra $28. They claimed they were famous for it. It was good. I enjoyed it, but I probably would not spend $30 again for these. It was like a bougie chicken nugget in my opinion. However, the banchan is included, and that's great. The rice, fantastic. I loved the radishes. I loved the white kimchi. And then for mains, it was cod, pork belly, or short rib for an added $12. Both the cod and the pork belly were excellent. I loved the pork belly. The dessert was not included. I was a little sad about that. Overall, I really enjoyed Atoboy. Although I'm partial to Jua, it would probably make my top 100. Today we're going to spot 29 for some Thai food. Zaab Zaab was originally based in Queens and now has 5 locations throughout the city. So let's get into it. I started with the Thai tea. I feel like I have to anytime I get Thai food. And then got right into it with the Zaab fries, which is tossed in a sour and spice mix. A little spicy mayo on the side. These fries were good. They were crispy. I just wish they had a little more flavor. Okay, on to the entrees. We got the lar ped udon. According to the menu, it's the chef's hometown specialty. It's filled with duck, crispy skin, fried gizzards, aka the organs, chilies, mint, lime, and cilantro. I thought it was good. You make like a little lettuce wrap out of it. I liked it. Also enjoyed the green curry with chicken. I love me some green curry. And then we also got the salt crusted red snapper. A huge layer of salt is caked onto it, and then it's cooked that way. It's served with a ton of herbs, noodles, tamarind sauce, and then you eat it like a lettuce wrap again. Overall, I thought Zaab Zaab was good. I enjoyed my meal. I don't have anything bad to say. I'm just not rushing back when there's so many other Thai restaurants in the city. Today we're going for some fancy French food at Le Coucou. They're 28th on the list, and the inside is beautiful. They start you with some complimentary bread, which is a win in my book. The menu's broken up into 3 sections: lighter apps, heavier apps, and then the main entrees. This was the tuna and scallop crudo. The fish was super fresh, super light. Leeks were leeks. Cold, simple veg dish. It was nice. I'm not losing my mind over it. The sweetbreads were by far the best thing I had. It came in a tarragon cream sauce. I was sopping the sauce up with the bread. And if you're not familiar with what sweetbreads are, it's not actually bread. It's either the thymus or the pancreas of an animal. For mains, we got the duck, which is served 2 ways, and they actually portioned out our plates. The first way it's served is the breast, which I found to be really rough. Like, the meat itself was really rough and grainy. Like, I had to chomp my way through it. It was not melting in my mouth by any means. And the second way is the thigh, which was kind of underwhelming. I liked the veal chop with porcini mushroom cream sauce more. The porcini mushrooms on top were honestly the star. But for $84, oh my god. They do bring out a plate of complimentary treats at the end. I had some highlights of this meal, but it's not currently my top pick if you're looking for a French restaurant in New York City. And today we're going to a spot I hear nobody speak about. King is 27th on the list, so let's chat about it. They have free bread, everyone. Well, I don't know if this classifies as bread, but it's like a cracker. It was dripping in olive oil. They actually sell their own olive oil and coated in fresh herbs. I really liked this. The menu changes so frequently, but one thing that tends to always stay is their panise. It's made of chickpea flour. It's super light and airy, and it came with fried sage. The use of herbs here is outstanding. They seem to always have a pasta on the menu, so this time around it was orecchiette with eggplant packed with fresh basil. I swear, they must have an herb farm back there. The pasta was delicious. 2 scallops on a plate is far more common than it should be. But I will say these were fat scallops. It was good. Very fresh tasting, light. They were just ever so slightly kissed by the grill. So if you need your seafood well done, don't get this. The main event was the huge pork chop with grilled peaches. Once again, I thought it was a decent dish, and the herbs made the plate for me. There was only one dessert on the menu, and it was a plum galette. I can see how people would love this. It's just personally not my go-to. But this could be your cup of tea. Who knows? Do I think you need to cancel all of your reservations and go here instead? No. But you should absolutely keep it in mind when you're deciding where to dine. And today we are going to one of my favorite restaurants in all of New York City. Eyval is Persian. It's 26th on the list, and it jumped up 40 spots from last year. Starting with the best salad I have ever consumed. It's the citrus date and cabbage salad, and it had a chili tahini dressing. Easily in my top 5 of things I've eaten this year. They have 2 breads on the menu. Both are good, but the barberry bread is the best. I think you should get both, but if you're in between, get this one. The whipped feta is great. It comes with fresh herbs, and it's fairly dense. However, my favorite dip is by far the strained yogurt. Whatever you get, just get a bread and a dip. These are the sambusas, which is an Iranian pastry. They were filled with lamb, raisins, and carrots, and then a saffron yogurt and a pistachio XO sauce. It was the perfect little app. The lamb ribs are good, just fatty. The mushroom kebab is new to the menu, and it was honestly one of my favorite things. But don't sleep on the eggplant dish. The kebab kubade with the saffron rice was delicious too. I think my least favorite thing was the scallops, because I didn't love the tamarind sauce it's sat in. It was just a little too sweet for me. Speaking of sweet, the saffron ice cream sandwich is a must. If you like anything saffron and rose, please order dessert here. The custard with cherry and honey, amazing. Here's the latest menu for reference, but it does change. To put it simply, I love it here. Today we're going to a spot where I was once quoted 4 hours, and it wasn't even on the list last year. So there is all the rage right now, and it is spot 25. I've now been for both brunch and dinner, so let's chat about brunch first. Started with the special blood orange tart, which was a little underwhelming. It was way more crust than citrus. Their French toast, though, is gorgeous, and it was not disappointing. Crispy on the outside, fluffy on the inside, not too sweet. I also just love French toast. I saw grilled cheese and tomato on the menu, which is like a childhood staple. All of the ingredients are really great, but they used a tomato jam instead of actual tomato. And since it's summer, I was kind of upset about it. Everyone loves the burger. Trigger warning, it's medium rare. I liked the melted onions and the cheddar, and the burger was good. I just think the English muffin was a little too thick and dry. That's personal preference, though, on how I like my buns. The burger came with fries, which is always a great sign, so slay. Okay, for dinner, I had the green toast, which was topped with a bunch of parm and herbs. Really strong flavors. Probably wouldn't order it again. The pumpkin and burrata is great. The Arctic char pate is great. FYI, they're changing their menu often. The pork loin just looks insane. It's very decadent. The coulette, you you could keep. Too tough for my preference. The profiteroles are delicious, and so is the ginger cake. Please order dessert. Sailor has both hits and misses. Would it make my list? Maybe. I think it would. And today we're going to spot 24. It's new to the list. It's Italian, it's French, it's bougie. They even have full-grown trees in there. They start you out with free hot bread, olive oil, and butter. Are you guys team butter or oil? I'm butter all the way. And they also drop these cheesy, toasty sticks down, which they replenished 3 times throughout the night because they were so good. Started with the compacci, which was great. It had some cucumber, green apple, really fresh and light. I also really enjoy the tomato tart with goat cheese. They're known for their duck tortellini, which, just look at it. The foam, the balsamic, you could tell this is rich. It was decadent. The duck was perfect. Highly recommend. They dropped more bread at the table. For the main event, we got chicken 2 ways, which is $45 a person. And that's a fancy way of saying it's a $90 chicken. The first round is white meat with crispy skin. It has some peppers. It was so juicy and flavorful. And then the second round is the dark meat, which comes with pancetta and potatoes. Both rounds are topped with a thick gravy, and both are delicious. The second round comes with the chicken paw, which always kind of creeps me out. It's expensive, but it's so good. It's such a treat. And if you're still treating yourself, get this chocolate crema, I don't know. I went in with the expectations that I was going to be underwhelmed and it was going to be overpriced. Everything was delicious, and this is the perfect place to have a special celebration. No doubt would make my list. Today we're going to a market where you can eat all around the world, and no single item will be more than $6. The Queen's Night Market is ranked 23rd on the list and is almost entirely made up of local family-owned businesses. You can get pretty much any cuisine you can think of, and some vendors do switch weekly. So whether you're in the mood for tacos from Mexico City or Filipino lumpia, go for it all. Get some Korean food. This was a beef bulgogi lettuce wrap, and it was delish. There's grilled meat skewers with every part of the chicken, including the foot. I had never had Sudanese food before, so I was excited to try that. This is actually my 4th year going. The grilled Indian barbecue is always there, and please get the lamb chop. A $5 bill can get you a small item, and it can also get you almost a full meal. This Pakistani nahari was a hearty stew for $5. I loved the Trini crab and dumplings too. What can I say? And if you're in the mood for carbs, you can get a wide variety of pierogi. The world's your oyster. Okay, that was all the savory stuff. Let's get into the sweets. I loved Sam's fried ice cream. You pick your ice cream flavor, and they batter it up and fry it in front of you. Bonus points, they spelled Kate right, which nobody ever does. If you need a beveragino, you can get some cane juice. And the chimney cakes are one of my favorite things, along with the sticky rice desserts from Moon Man. CYP put it on the list. It encapsulates a ton of cuisines, but it's hard for me because each vendor varies, so I don't know if it makes my top 100. If you do go, it's Saturdays only, and I would bring cash. Today we're going to yakitori tasting, where you eat the entire chicken. Chrono is 22nd on the list, and it's $175 per person. And you're gonna eat chicken like you've never eaten chicken before. They start you with a consomme, which is great. All of the cooking is done right in front of you. The chef never stops moving the entire time. They give you a few appetizers. This was an egg custard and caviar, which was good. This was squash. I don't even know what the rest was. I just know I enjoyed it. This was the pate with truffle. It was almost like a little cookie sandwich. Honestly, this was so good. Okay, the app course is ended. They bring you over the seasoning, and that's how you know the meat's coming. You start out with a chicken tail, a tad crunchy, then some chicken hearts, which just tasted like sausage. Moving into a more mild cut, the chicken thigh. This was so juicy and delicious. They're all marinated too. I think this was like an inner part of the leg. I should have taken notes. At this point, they bring around this chest that you can order more. We didn't. Quick little shishito break, then onto the chicken belly with lime leaves. This was delish. And then the chicken oysters, which people say is like the prized cut of the chicken. Every bite though was so delicious. The marinade's insane. This was like a zucchini sesame bite. It literally just kept going. This was the fried chicken, then the chicken meatball with egg yolk and rice. You may not think this is a lot of food, but I was very full, and it's also over the span of 2.5 hours. They end you with your last savory course, which is a noodle dish, and then some creme brulee. I did really enjoy Kono. I didn't have a bad bite. The staff is amazing. It is a little one note for me, but I think it's worth trying at least once. But only if you'll eat chicken hearts. And today we're going to spot 21 for some Spanish food. There's 4 total Spanish restaurants on the list, and Casamono ranks the highest. It's very small in there. All of the cooking's done here. People all have their Michelin plaques. They start you with some free bread and some olive oil. It's solid bread, but jumping right into it, they recommended the razor clams. Salty, oily, herby, buttery goodness. Although there was a bit too much salt for my personal preference, I did very much enjoy. The scallops at a Serrano green curry was my favorite dish by far. Also had some crushed cashews spread throughout. Good thing we had bread to sop up every inch of the sauce. I'm a big fan of shishito peppers, so we got a plate of them. They're just a fun little snack to have on the side. A newer menu item we were told about is the pork belly with pickled veg. This dish was not for me. It seemed like there was a lot going on, but not a lot at the same time. Maybe that's not the best way to describe it. It just didn't feel super cohesive. When we sat down, the table next to us had bone marrow with trout roe, everything but the bagel seasoning, and creme fraiche on it. The second I saw it, I needed it. It is great. Very rich and buttery on the toast. Clearly, we liked it. And then lastly, got the duck, which was really good, but a bit of a tiny portion for $36. Overall, I very much enjoyed my meal here. I do think I prefer Ernesto's a tiny bit more. Nonetheless, a solid spot for Spanish food.